Reggie here, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. In this video, we are going to be doing a deep dive into how Warner Brothers Discovery has messed up big time and how they are trying to dig themselves out of a disaster of their own making with theater owners. I am specifically talking about David Zaslav's recent appearance at CinemaCon, in which he essentially went hat in hand to theater owners to ask for their forgiveness, because that's essentially what this is. And as somebody that's been in sales and marketing for about 20 years, I can tell you, if you mess up, one of the best things that you can do is make a personal appearance and a personal appeal to the decision maker, to acknowledge that you messed up and to say that you are going to do better. That is essentially what David has done by going to CinemaCon, something that CEOs of large entertainment companies don't necessarily do. That's how important the relationship is between Warner Brothers and the theaters. And I want to talk about some of the specific quotes that have come out of CinemaCon from David, and I want to break them down and tease out some nuggets here. So one of the quotes is, "We believe in full windowing of the motion picture business. We do not want to do direct to streaming. We are in no rush to bring movies to Max. Max is a great service, but when we partner with you and bring the movies to the theater and we promote them, then we promote them again and sell directly to the consumer, we get another bump. When we bring movies to Max, those movies perform substantially better than any direct to streaming movies. We said it 9 months ago and we said it 6 months ago. We've never felt stronger about it." So clearly, even though they have said this before, theater owners didn't believe them, which is why David has made this trip to Vegas to make the appeal himself, to say, look, I know that we messed up before, but we are going to do better. And for those that don't know, essentially what happened is you had the previous CEO, who was the CEO for the pandemic, basically from May 2020 until 2022. That previous CEO by the name of Jason Kilar made the treacherous decision to release 10 of Warner Media's movies, or Warner Brothers, I think by this time, to release those movies directly to the streaming platform, bypassing theaters altogether. So needless to say, this did not sit well with the creative types that brought these movies to life. It also did not sit well with the theater owners, because they were essentially trying to get themselves back on their feet after the COVID shutdown. And you have one of the larger entertainment groups deciding to release all of their content directly on their own platform without cutting you in on any of the profits at all. So David's appearance at this meeting again says a lot. He is acknowledging that they have messed up. He is acknowledging that they have taken a close look at the numbers. And he is acknowledging that those numbers did not look good, that there was no upside for Warner Brothers Discovery by bypassing the theaters. He is basically saying, we are back, we recognize our mistake, and we are prepared to move forward with you as our partners. And again, this hopefully is a sign that Warner Brothers Discovery is going to get itself back on track by being focused. And if you listen to a lot of the news that's out there right now about certain movies, they appear to be headed down a good path. Fingers crossed that they can actually get there. Some additional quotes here. He says, "Working with you to get people back to theaters on Main Street all over the world. There are a lot of challenges all over the world. Not only do we want to do this because it's good business and we love motion pictures, we've got to rally right now. People need to escape, be entertained and inspired." And I think that is a wonderful set of quotes there. He is acknowledging that they need each other in order to do good business, but the larger society maybe also benefits from them working together, right? He highlights in this next part here that movie theaters have the ability to bring people together, unlike other places where you have this shared experience, this moment in time, regardless of your political beliefs, left or right, your color, your economic background. If you can afford a ticket, you have this shared experience, this moment in time. And I thought that was something that he said that shocked me a little bit. And he phrased it this way. He says, content and story are more powerful than armies. That was something that I did not expect for him to say, but clearly he's making a point here that he believes that stories and content have an ability to maybe bring people together in a way that you can't necessarily do by force. So I thought that was interesting. And he goes on again to talk about black and white, left and right, different backgrounds, people coming together. He says here, there's no purer form of storytelling than the motion picture business. And he clarifies his role. Warner Brothers Discovery is not in the retail business, not in cable, not in broadband, not phone. We are just storytellers. Again, saying we are going to focus on what we do best, which is telling stories. And fingers crossed that they are telling good stories, because I think that goes a long way. That goes a long way to putting cheeks in seats if good stories are being told. And he says here, he again acknowledges how they messed up. He says, we were down to 6 movies a year at the time of the merger. The number of movies that Warner Brothers Discovery will be putting into theaters is now up to 16. And he says, we have hope to get it up to 20. Again, that is good news for these theater owners because it gives them some idea of what to expect. He goes on to say, we are all in over the next couple of years with motion picture storytelling, but we need your help. He has basically said, look, we messed up. We are going to try to do better, but if we are going to do better, you too need to do better. And he goes on here, we need to innovate the experience, to focus on getting people into the theaters in an environment that continues to be contemporary. A lot of what you are doing has been helping. If we can do that, the industry will be stronger than it's ever been. And that's a little bit of a tall order. I will tell you that. A little bit of a tall order because when you dig into the data, what you see is that gross revenues for ticket sales, period, are not where they were pre-pandemic. They are still off of their highs, despite the fact that a lot of movie theaters have actually increased their overall ticket prices. So they bumped the price, but they're still below in terms of volume of tickets and also gross revenue. A lot of this is a positive sign in my mind. It is a sign that Warner Brothers is serious about telling stories. If they can tell good stories and if theaters can continue to innovate in positive ways, not just raise prices, but innovate in creative ways, they have an opportunity to be really successful. They have an opportunity to get people to start coming out to movies again. And the fact that he is basically saying, hey, we are not going to rush getting these movies onto streaming platforms, that goes a long way because that is part of the hesitation. A lot of people are pulling back on going to the theater because if they wait a month, they can see it for the $14 or $13 or whatever they happen to pay for their streaming platform. So if he is going to hold to this window and also put out good movies, this could be a game changer. With that said, we're going to wrap this video up. I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, I want to encourage you to give the video a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, I want to personally invite you to do that. And if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.
This thing on? Mic check. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me clearly. Yeah. Should you practice art or should art be your practice? I had a question, so I asked it. Not to anyone specifically, but to my inner God, you know? The one that's gonna be a master, the one that's more than a rapper, the one that's an educator, the one that seeks enlightenment. He travels with concepts, he's got the mindset expansive. He understands that his time combined with travel and concepts makes his mind convex. Sort of like when you look at a brain scan, straight off meditation, we was concaving until we had that eternal dialogue that created our dialect. Now we in distinct rooms of pure souls having them conversations, synergy and combinations. You fly and we waiting, Indian style and the gold.